Namo tasso bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Saturday morning practice. We'll be spending the next hour and a half together in what we call the weekly bootcamp, a place where we could commit our practice, but it's also a sanctuary since the pandemic and definitely since the last election, a place where we could seek our inner peace. So today we alternate from week to week for those of you who are new here. And this week we're going to be practicing pranayama. Yama means practice or method. Prana means anaprana, means breathing in and breathing out, but particularly about breathing with your stomach using your diaphragm. Okay, we're going to talk more about that. And before we do that exercise, we're going to be doing some joint exercise. And you would know that our practice, the pranayama practice, looks very much like Tai Chi. And our master actually was a Tai Chi master, and he incorporated that into the breathing exercise. And so Tai Chi requires that you use the joints, not only use them, but to coordinate them. You coordinate your wrist with your heel, you coordinate your elbow with your knee, and you coordinate your shoulder with the hip. So those are the six joints that we'll be practicing. But as usual, we don't just practice the body. We don't practice on the body. We practice on the mind, and we practice on the breath. The breath is the bridge between the body and the mind. So I want you to come back to the body first, and what I call mindfulness. Mindfulness in this case means sati, and sati in the Pali language means to remember, to anchor your mind somewhere in your body, or to anchor your mind on your breath. So right now we're going to be doing exercise, which means that we anchor our mind on our body. So I want you to locate the lower part of your spine. I want you to go up the spine, walk up the spine towards the top of the head. And as you go up, I want you to stop at every joint as if you're stretching the spine, increasing the distance between the joint. Stretch it as hard as you can. Now I want you to focus your mind, anchor your mind on your shoulder. I want you to lift up that shoulder, bring the upper torso towards the ceiling, bring it as high as you can, as if you're bringing your shoulder to your ears. Now I want you to take the upper torso and lean back. And as you lean back, I want you to open that shoulder. Open it as far as you can, as if you're squeezing a tennis ball in the back. Now I want you to loose that shoulder. Relax the entire upper torso. And then one more thing, I want you to focus on your forehead. I want you to lean back your forehead, putting your ears on your shoulder. Then I want you to tuck in your chin slightly, putting the top of the head on top of your spine. And now we're ready for joint exercise. So first I want you to examine your wrists, focus on your wrists, examine the feeling on your wrists. Now I want you to move to your elbow, examine that elbow. And I want you to move to the shoulder, examine the shoulder. Now I want you to bring your attention to the center of your palm and bring up your hands, mind, body together slowly and all the way up to the shoulder. And I want you to focus on the wrists, and I want you to turn the wrist very slow, but very mindful. Keep checking your mind, and your mind is somewhere else. When it's somewhere else, it's thinking about the past or thinking about the future. I don't want you to do that. I just want you to think about the present. And right now, you're doing joint exercise. So I want you to focus on the joint. And when you focus on the joint, I want you to know that each turn has a beginning and an end. So at the beginning is when you want to check your mind, anchor your mind on the wrist, and you follow the wrist, examine the change of your wrist until you get to the end. And when you get to the end, I want you to congratulate yourself. Say, oh, I did one turn. Completely mindful. Now I'm ready for the next one. And you just do the next one as if each one is independent of another. One joint at a time, one joint at a time, one turn at a time, sorry. And now I want you to turn it around, turn it the other way, focus on your wrist, one turn at a time. Examine any change in your wrist, see if there's any heat, any sweat, any numbness, any pain even, any kind of feeling. Maintain your focus on your wrist. Now I want you to bring your hands down, but before you do that, I want you to put your mind at the center of your palm, bring it back down the same way you brought it up. And I want you to come back to the spine, stretch your spine, lift up your shoulder, bring your whole upper torso towards the ceiling. Now I want you to lean back. As you lean back, I want you to feel the lightness in your body as you're putting the weight on your spine and not using your muscle. I want you to open that shoulder and then relax the shoulder. We're going from the wrist to the elbow now. So I want you to focus on the center of your palm. And then bring up your hand slowly. Now I want you to focus on the elbow. And again, we're going to turn your elbow one turn at a time. And how do you know that you're turning one turn at a time? Because every turn has a beginning and every turn has an end. And the end becomes the beginning. It just continue. But just like life itself, it's a cycle. A life has the beginning, a life has the end. The end is the beginning of another life, just like that. One turn at a time. Now I want you to focus on your elbow. Know that there's a beginning. That's when you practice what we call the determination parami, and which means that you say to yourself, I'm committed to this. I'm going to follow my elbow one turn at a time from the beginning to the end. Now we're going to turn the other way. And when you get to the end, that's when you practice your diligence parami or paramita, depending on whether it's Pali or Sanskrit. And you're just going to turn that one turn at a time and examine the change, feel it. And now we're going to bring it back down. Focus on the center of your palm again, bring it back down. Again, lift up your spine, lift up your shoulder, lean back, open your shoulder, relax your shoulder, relax your upper torso. We're going from the elbow, we're going from the wrist to the elbow, and now we're ready to do the shoulder. I want you to focus on the center of the palm again. I want you to bring up your hand, and this time we're going to cross a palm, bring it in front of you, bring it on top of you, and then I want you to point the fingers towards the ceiling, stretch the upper torso as hard as you can. And then before you come down, I want you to anchor your mind on the center of your palm, turn the palm outward, feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of that pain by refocusing on the center of your palm. Don't focus on the shoulders. The pain is already gone. Keep focusing on the center of the palm. Stretch as hard as you can. Maintain focus on the center of your palm. Open the palm, point the palm outward. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of the pain. Come back to the center of your palm. Stretch as hard as we can. Open the shoulder. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of that pain. Come back to the center of your palm. Completely focus on the center of your palm. Stretch as hard as you can. Point the palm outward. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of the pain. Come back to the center of the palm. We're going to do 2 more times. Stretch as hard as you can. Follow the palm. Open the shoulder. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of that pain. Come back to the center of your palm one last time. Stretch as hard as you can. Feel the pain on your shoulder. Let go of the pain. Now we're going to the other way around. And then we're going to open your shoulder first. Stretch. Bring it back down. Open that shoulder first. Stretch. Bring it back down. Open the shoulder first. Stretch. And then bring it back down. Two more times. Open the shoulder first. Stretch. Bring it back down. One last time. Open the shoulder first. Stretch. And follow the palm all the way down. Now we're going to go from front to back. All right. So again, back to the spine. Always come back to the body. Stretch your spine. Stretch towards the ceiling. Stretch it as hard as you can. Then lift up that shoulder. Bring it all the way up. As far up as you can. Now lean back, the upper torso. Open that shoulder. Open the shoulder. Relax the shoulder. Relax the spine. Back to the center of your palm. We're going to go from front to back. So focus on the center of your palm. Bring up your hand very slowly, very mindfully in front of you, on top of you. And then open the shoulder. We're going to confront that pain. We're going to feel it. And then we're going to accept it. And then we're going to let it go by focusing on the center of your palm. Bring it up. All the way back. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Very slowly. Bring it in front of you, on top of you. Open the shoulder. Feel the pain. Accept that pain. Let go of the pain. All the way up. All the way back. Feel it. Accept it. And then let it go. We're going to do two more times. All the way towards the ceiling. All the way back. Feel the pain. Accept that pain. Let go of the pain. One more time. Feel the pain. Accept that pain. And then let go of the pain. Come back to your breath. And then now we're going to go from back to front, all the way to the back.
師兄係定鏡啊！
嚇？咩事啊？
睇唔到你個動作㗎。
睇唔到我動作啊？哦，停咗啊？OK，等等。
因為錯。
等，我知道。
Danny 師兄。
睇到啦，得啦。
定鏡啊！
得啦。
睇唔到你運動啊！
睇唔睇到而家？睇到嗎？
睇到啦。
OK，我轉咗上邊。OK，the students are complaining they cannot see me. All right, so now we're going to go from back to front. Sit up straight, open the shoulder, relax the shoulder, lean back. I'm going to put the hands in the back, as far back as we can. Bring it up, stretch, bring it back down, all the way to the back. Bring it up, stretch, and then bring it back down, all the way to the back. Stretch, and then bring it back down, all the way to the back. Stretch, bring it back down. One more time, all the way to the back. And then stretch, and then bring it back down. Okay? Now we're going to focus on the breath now. So this is what we need to remember when we move, whether we are walking or we're doing exercise. We are always anchoring a mind on the body. So this is very important, right? Many of us are in the retirement age, retire. And so one of the things that we want to do is we don't want to fall, right? I've seen too many people start to decline once they fall. It's a very bad thing to do when you age. So there are a number of things you can do to prevent yourself from falling. One is that later on we're going to do the hip exercise, and maintaining a flexible hip is very important because it's the only thing as you fall to provide the counterbalance to bring you back, okay? The second thing you need to do, even more important, is to learn to anchor your mind on your body when you move. When you walk, focus on the bottom of your feet. Feel the bottom of your feet as you walk. You can practice that when you go to Costco. You're pushing the car. It's very safe. So now is the time that as you walk down the aisle, you focus on the bottom of your feet. Same thing when you get up in the morning and you're making breakfast, right? You're making breakfast. That is the time to anchor your mind on your body. You feel your hands as you move around the kitchen, and that's what you do, right? So I typically wake up about 5:30 in the morning, get ready. I enjoy my breakfast, enjoy my free time, where it's very quiet, listen to some music, and I practice mindfulness for since 5:30 this morning, right? Not necessarily sitting, but just mindful to my body as I move, right? Mindful to my ears as I heat up my breakfast. I can actually hear it boiling, right? That's your practice. That's your practice. Okay. All right. So now when you move, when you exercise, you're mindful to your body. You anchor your mind on your body, any part of your body. But then when you're stationary, whether you're sitting, standing, or lying down, especially when you lie down, you go to sleep, mindful to your body. All right. Mindful to your breath. Start feeling your breath. So let's try that. So back to the position, stretch your spine, lift up a shoulder, lean back, relax. Now focus on our breath. Just start by knowing. I know that I'm breathing in. I can feel that I'm breathing in. I know that I'm breathing out. I know that I'm breathing out. I can feel the change in my body, one breath at a time. So when we do the joint exercise, you said we do it one turn at a time. Recognize that as we turn a wrist, as we turn an elbow, there's the beginning and then there's the end. Same thing with the breath. The in breath is the beginning, and the out breath is the end. By the way, that's your life. That's your life cycle. When we were born, the first breath was the in breath. Finally, when we leave this world, the last breath is the out breath. The beginning and the end. But the end is an accomplishment. We have accomplished what we wanted to do in this breath. We have accomplished what we want to do in this life. And the end becomes the beginning. That's one of the reasons why we practice is to understand what this life is all about, at least this physical life. All right. Okay, so we're going to spend more time practicing that after we do more exercise. We got 3 more exercises to do, and we're going to continue to practice on the shoulder, using that as a way to practice one of the foundation of mindfulness, the foundation of sensation, right? Sometimes it's translated into feeling. There's mindfulness of feeling. I try to remind myself that there is a difference between feeling and sensation. Sensation is when your body feels, when your eye sees, when your ear hears, when your tongue tastes, it generates electrical signal and it goes in your spine. That's sensation. But then when it get all collected, then it goes up your spiral cord to your brain, your thinking mind. That's feeling. That's when you generate your preferences. Oh, I don't like this feeling, right? Oh, this feels good. I don't want it to leave me. So feeling has more to do with sensation. We're practicing on sensation right now. That's why I keep saying, feel it, accept it, and then just let it go, right? That's purely on sensation, all right? Okay, so now we're going to do one more exercise on that, and we're going to learn to let go of a pain, just physical pain now. So imagine what you have to do once you practice on your body, you learn to let go of your physical pain. You can then use that to let go of your emotional pain. It is the same. It is the same. You feel it, you're trying to change it, but then not everything you can change. So you're going to have to learn to accept it. And when you accept it, you don't want to carry it with you. It's just extra baggage. So it's time to let it go. It's just that simple. All right, so we're going to do one more. This time we're going to separate the left brain from the right brain using half a brain at a time, okay? All right, so stretch, lift up a shoulder, lean back, open a shoulder, and then relax. We're going to take the left hand, put that in front. We're going to stretch out the right hand. We're going to focus on the center of our right palm, which means that we're using a left brain. Sit up straight, bring the right hand in front, making a nice big circle. Now we're going to open the shoulder. We're going to feel that pain. We're going to accept that pain, and we're going to let go of the pain by switching from left brain to right brain, because now we can focus on the left palm. Get ready? Open the shoulder, feel the pain, accept that pain, let go of the pain. Sit up straight, all the way to the right. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Sit up straight, all the way around. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Sit up straight, all the way around. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Sit up straight, all the way around. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Sit up straight, two more times, all the way around. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. All the way around. Feel it, accept it, and then let it go. Back to the breath. Anchor your mind on the breath, one breath at a time. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Now, when you finish with the energetic exercise and you notice that your breath is very rushed, that means your mind is very rushed. That means that you were actually in the fight or flight mode. So then it's very important that you bring your mind back, settle your mind by focusing on your breath. That's why I said the breath is the bridge between your body and your mind. As you focus on your breath, as you whisper to yourself, I know I'm breathing in, I know I'm breathing out. Your breath settles, your mind settles, you're now in rest and digest. You can feel the saliva inside your mouth. It's all good, right? All right, so this left brain, right brain is actually a very, very, very powerful way of letting go of your pain and not let that pain, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain or psychological pain, whatever you want to name it, it is very important to learn to switch between one side of the brain to the other side. One side, as you know, is emotional, and the other side is rational. So, as you know, last week, Tuesday, I believe, it was Chinese New Year. So my daughter came home. My son came home too, but he left early. My daughter came home, and I gave. She has my 10-year-old Mini, right? Nice little car. I keep trying to convince her to maybe she should take my BMW this time, because it's a 10-year-old car, and she's like, no, no, I don't want that. I like my Mini. He says, by the way, there's a better solution. If you're afraid that my Mini will break down, just buy me a new one. Very smart girl. So anyway, she came home and with her boyfriend and the dog, beautiful dog. Actually, it was a dog that someone found in Mexico, Tijuana. It was an abandoned dog. And but anyway, so I only have one car garage, so I park my car outside on the street and let them park inside. So then 2 nights ago, we decided to go out to dinner, and I said, well, let me just drive my car. It's outside already. I got into my car and nothing works. Wow, nothing works. What's going on? The light comes on, but the drivetrain failure, all the warning lights. I said, oh, maybe it's too cold. Maybe it rained. I said, but it can't be. It's a BMW. Come on. So anyway, in the morning, I had someone come in, told it to the dealership, and then later on got a call from the service representative. Says, Danny, you know what happened? Says a rat got into your engine's compartment and threw up all the wires. I said, what? I said, yeah. I said, oh, I know what happened. My next door right here. The parents died. The mom died a couple years back, and the house was in default, and the kids are all drug addicts, and it's been causing us a lot of problems. But that's just how life is. And so finally, they got evicted, and a crew came in and spent 3 weeks cleaning up the place. Probably like 10 big trucks hauling all the garbage, all the stolen property that they have. Little did I know that after they cleaned it up, the rats had no place to disturb the rats' habitat. And so as I was talking to the neighbor, and they said, yeah, we've been seeing rats all over the place. So I guess finally they found that the inside my engine compartment was a warm place, and they decided to stay there. and chew up my wire. So my wife and I are both upset. We're very emotional upset, right? Because these people are not good to us. But then it's New Year. So we say, it's only $1,000 worth of damage. Luckily, the wires didn't cost that much money, which is all labor. So we said, well, hey, just react to. So I kind of said, hey, just react to it rationally. It could have been much worse. And in New Year, just think of us making a donation. That's it. Let it go. Feel it, accept it, and then just let it go. Right? So that's how you do it. That's really how you do it. When it's a pain in your heart, you deal with it in your brain. When it's a pain in your brain, you deal with it in your heart. What else can you do? Left side, right side, left side, right side. Okay. Now, fire horse. So first of all, horse is one of the 12 animals, right? And so that's what we call the zodiac. And the Chinese discovered the zodiac probably a good 4,000 years ago. And the Chinese were very good in astrology and astronomer. And the reason for that is that they 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 believe that the emperor has a mandate from the sky, which is a little bit different, than the Japanese version. The Japanese version think that the emperor is actually a descendant of God, whereas in the Chinese they think that the emperor has the mandate from the God, and so therefore they spend a lot of time studying the stars. And long ago, long before Galileo had discovered that Jupiter, Jupiter takes 12 years to circle around the sun. So that's how they discovered the 12 zodiac. It takes 12 years to return to the original configuration. And then they discovered that there are four other stars, the Mars, the Venus, and so forth. And it takes 60 years for them to, and everything return to the initial condition. And by the way, next Saturday, all of them will be lined up in a straight line. You know that, right? So when we say that we were born in the years of the horse, I'm born in the year of the monkey, it's not enough. You have to say what element. So I was born in the year of uh, the golden monkey or the metal monkey, whereas this year is the year of the horse, but it's the year of the fire horse. Now people associate that with energy, that's fire, and especially when it's on a horse. So they think that it has a lot of this year has a lot of energy. So my master, my Dharma master, Master Zhu, actually sent out a letter to all his students, and he says that three things you have to do in the year of the fire horse. One, this is a year that you practice compassion and loving kindness, that you practice the spirit of the Bodhisattva. Second, this is a year that you have to understand that you don't want to be too emotional because it's easy to be a fire horse, which means that you need to really pay attention to what you do, right? One step at a time. And then finally, from a practice, we need to return to the basic. And what is the basic? The basic is your confidence, your diligence, and your mindfulness. So this is a year that is going to be a very good year for those of us who practice. Okay? A very good year that we practice, not only for our own, but for others. So I think he said that knowing that we have a new activity, and I mentioned on the 22nd, we're going to be having in-house, in-person meditation practice in Oakland, California, in the edge of Chinatown. And we're going to be focusing on what is called the justice impacted population. Okay, and my partner, Mr. Tian Nguyen, was formerly incarcerated. Um, he was released 3 years ago, and he's been using his practice while uh, he was incarcerated. Uh, he is a yoga teacher, by the way, and we're going to alternate our practice. 1 week would be yoga, another week would be qigong meditation, and we're going to be hopefully serving what is called the impacted population. Ultimately, we would go in jail, return back to the work that I did before pandemic. But for now, um, service mainly those who had been incarcerated. But not only that, hopefully extend that to families of those who are either being incarcerated or have been incarcerated, and then ultimately to the disadvantaged neighborhoods where they're prone to be incarceration. All right. So I think that's really what he meant, what my master meant when he talks about the year of the fire horse. Number one, this is the year to practice compassion and loving kindness, what we call the Bodhisattva path, meaning that it is now time to put yourself into the society and think about helping people. Second, be very mindful as you do that. All right. Don't let your emotion overrun, and just one step at a time. Number three, come back and practice yourself, maintaining that wisdom. And so this is exactly what the 18 or 19 monks do as they walk, right? They practice their own wisdom, and with that wisdom, they're able to um, deliver compassion. One step at a time. Thank you, Rebecca. One step at a time. All right. So this is what I meant by the Shambhala warrior. That the Shambhala warriors at the right time would be among us to help us find peace from within. And they have two weapons, the most powerful weapons in the world. One is wisdom, and then the other one is compassion. So if you've ever seen a Tibetan monk, a lama practice, on one side, they have the hand gesture, that's your compassion. And the other side, they hold on to a tool that represents the wisdom. Thank you for the question. Okay. All right. So let's go back to practice. All right. So now we're going to do a little bit more exercise. The next one is going to be very energetic because we want to get ready for sitting meditation. Okay. Now, in sitting meditation, by the way, is a very dangerous exercise because you would find that as you slow down your body, as you slow down your ears, your eyes, your nose, your tongue, and your body, your mind gets very excited, right? All of a sudden, it's like, whoa, what happened? It's so quiet. And it's going to drift off into thinking about all kinds of things. In the prison, the worst thing you can do to an inmate is to lock them up in solitary. That's the worst punishment you can ever give. In fact, they use that as a tool. So if you ever complain about being mistreated by the guards, guess what? The first thing they would do is put you in solitary to protect you. And it's the worst punishment you can have because what happens is that when you're inside that room, you can't see the sun and you're not able to leave. You're not seeing anything, you're not hearing anything, you're not smelling anything, you're not tasting anything, and your mind goes all over the place. It's very dangerous. So when we learn to practice meditation, it's very important that we understand how our thinking mind works. If you don't have enough energy into your thinking mind, you go to sleep. Right? Some people will say that's a good thing. Well, it is, except that that is not called meditation. So you don't want to go to sleep when you meditate. We call that losing fire. If you sleep when you meditate, we call that what do we call that? I forgot what we call that now. But anyway, the other extreme you don't want to do is you don't want to have monkey mind. Okay, so we're going to do one exercise to energize yourself, and then we're going to do one exercise to relax yourself. This one is a Shaolin practice. It's called throwing the shoulder. Lift up your shoulder, open your shoulder, lean back, relax, bring up your right hand, follow the fist, get ready. Up. Feel the vibration in your body. Never leave the body, okay? Get ready. Up. Come down, down, sit up straight, down. Feel the vibration in your body. Up, up, down, down. One more time. Up, up, down, down. Now open your shoulder. Both fists at the same time. One, feel the vibration. Two, feel the vibration. Three, four, and five. All right. Now, come back to the breath. One breath at a time. Slow down your breathing. Slow down your mind. We're going to do one more exercise and just relax. Turn on our parasympathetic nerve. Focus on what is called the vagus nerve, which starts at the back of the ear, comes down to the neck, then the back, and then inside your stomach. So we're going to open the shoulder, lift up our shoulder, open the shoulder, relax the shoulder. We're going to take the thumb, put that in front of the shoulder, roll up 4 fingers. We're going to follow the elbow, bring up the elbow. The shoulder follows the elbow, the entire upper torso follows the elbow. We're going to point the elbow back, which means that we're opening up the shoulder all the way back. Now we're going to point the elbow down, relax, and then finally point the elbow forward, looking down. From here, we lift up our elbow, now looking straight ahead. We're going to open up, point the elbow back, and then point it back down, looking at this floor. As we come up, we're going to take a very gentle in-breath until we open, and then we're going to take an out-breath all the way until I point our elbow forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Relax. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. 2 more time. In, out. 1 more time. Out. Okay. We're completely relaxed. So the 2 exercise prevents us from sleeping when we meditate, giving us enough energy. If we sleep during we meditate, we call that the lazy Zen. And also prevent us from having too many random thoughts. We want to focus our mind on our body. If we have random thoughts, we call that the monkey Zen. Now we're going to come back to the body once again. This time we'll be a little bit more rigorous in how we position our body. We're going to divide our body into 7 parts. The first are the legs. So if you sit on the chair, which I recommend, I want you to make sure that the bottom of your feet are touching the floor, not dangling around. And also make sure the chair is not so low that your bottom of your feet are actually in front or behind. Just the right height. If you can, try not to lean back on the back of the chair. If you sit like I do, make sure that you put some pillows and blankets if you need to. So you're not using any leg muscles. The legs are the pedestal. The rest of the body is the bell. We sit like the bell. Now we go from the legs to the hands. I want you to just relax your fingers, relax your wrists, relax your elbow. And just put your hands on top of your knee, your thigh, or your calf, wherever. Just don't lift it up. Don't try to do any hand gesture. I just don't want you to use any muscle. The third part is your spine. We know about that part. So we focus on the bottom of the spine. We walk up the spine. We stretch the spine as if we're hanging the spine on the ceiling. The spine is the clapper inside the bell. It needs to be hanged from the ceiling. Then I want you to lean back. I want you to feel the lightness in your upper torso as you lean back, because you're moving the support from your muscle to your spine. You're putting the weight of the upper torso now on the spine. You feel the lightness. Then I want you to open up that shoulder, lift up the shoulder first, and then open the shoulder all the way back. Relax the shoulder, relax the upper torso. Now we get to the forehead. I want you to lean back the forehead, put the ears on top of the shoulder. Once again, feeling the lightness, because you're putting the weight now on your spine and not using your neck muscle. I want you to tuck in your chin slightly so the top of the head is on top of the spine. Now I want you to relax your eyelid. You close your eye, but you don't shut it. You can actually see some light coming through your eyelashes. You might actually see the floor or your knee. Finally, I want you to take the tip of your tongue, put it behind your teeth, put it where the teeth meets the roof of your mouth. I don't want you to push it. I just want to rest there. Then I want you to make sure that you close your mouth. Feel the inside your mouth. Feel the wetness inside your mouth. When you're in the fight or flight, you're turning the saliva gland back on. The saliva is very important. It activates your immune system. It activates your digestive system and your reproductive system. Now that you got your body in the way that you want, I want you to learn to breathe with your diaphragm. First, you have to relax. That's why we do this last exercise to relax yourself. If you're not relaxed, the diaphragm is very stiff. That's why only baby knows how to breathe with the diaphragm. The pets do too. The cats, the dogs, that's what they do. We just lost that. So now I want you to anchor your mind on your belly button. I want you to feel your breath. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. When you know that you're breathing in, I want you to relax the stomach as if you're pointing the belly button forward. When you know that you're breathing out, I want you to tuck in your stomach as if you're bringing the belly button back. One breath at a time. Breathing in, that's the beginning. That's when you said to yourself, I commit to this. I practice my determination. All the way out, all the way in. And then when you get to the end, you said to yourself, I practice my diligence. I'll take one more breath. Breathe in, relax stomach, belly button forward. Breathe out, tuck in the stomach, belly button back. Okay? So let's sit for 3 minutes. We want to spend more time on to practice more exercise. Okay? One more. Just focus on your belly button. 3 minutes. That's all. Okay, now that's the first step. Now, as it turns out, this first step, breathing with your stomach, using your diaphragm, and we're going to do more of that later, has a lot of value, a lot of medicinal value. There was a very important study by Western educated, not necessarily Westerner, but Western educated scientists that demonstrate that using your stomach, breathing with your diaphragm, actually prevents dementia. And if for those who are on the onset of dementia, actually can reverse it. And they discovered that it's actually very simple, and it's what the Chinese been saying for thousands of years. That when you breathe in, you're bringing down your diaphragm, you actually enter into fight or flight. Your heart rate goes up. The body releases steroid, what we call cortisol. The only purpose of that is to reduce inflammation. Turns out that dementia is not a degradation of your cognitive power, but rather an inflammation of the brain. And so this morning, as I was eating my breakfast, I saw an article that says what I've been saying all along, is that the onset of dementia is not memory. The onset of dementia is loss of coordination, loss of balance. It is really just the left brain and right brain not able to work independently. It's the inflammation of the diaphragm, not diaphragm, the membrane in between them. And so the doctors, the scientists discovered that as you breathe in, opening your stomach, lower your diaphragm, you enter into fight or flight. It's the time that you reduce inflammation. And then when you breathe out, you're lifting up your diaphragm, you enter into rest and digest. Rest and digest means that you no longer need stress hormone. You are in a safe place, which is very important because it gives your body time to restore the sensitivity to the stress hormone. When we are under stress all the time, what happens is that we lose our self-healing power because we're no longer sensitive to our own steroid. We have to inject an additional in external one. So just that practice itself has demonstrated to be very, very important, not only for dementia, but for your autoimmune, for your high blood pressure, for diabetes, all of those that are related to inflammation. So, but you need to practice. I look up and I see what um, where is it? Somewhere in there, someone says it's easier said than done. It is true. It is true. It's easier said than done. That's why we need to practice together. This is a sangha. A sangha means a group of people who help each other. It's the energy that we share. So we rely on each other. Otherwise, it's very difficult. All right, so let's spend a little bit more time continuing this practice, combining the breathing exercise with your posture, bringing what's called the chi away from your stomach, and then circling around your body. The back, the spine, is what we call the governing vessel. This is where all the yang energy travel. So now I want you to continue to feel your breath. I feel that I'm breathing in. You might actually feel that your stomach opens by itself. I feel that I'm breathing out. You might feel that your stomach is collapsing all by itself. Now I want you to anchor your mind on the bottom of your spine. As you breathe in, I want you to travel up the spine, stretching the spine towards the ceiling. Then when you get to the top of the head, you feel that you're breathing out. Then you come down from the top of your head to your forehead, to the nose, through the tongue. Come down towards the belly button. And as you do that, I want you to lean back, feel the lightness, and relax. Breathe in, stretch your spine, sit up straight. Breathe out, lean back, and then relax. Let's sit for 3 minutes and we do more exercise, okay? Okay, so let's do more exercise. And working with Tien, who practice yoga, and we're combining everything in what's called the Astanga yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga, right? So yoga, as it's practiced in the West, is basically a asana practice. And what we do here can be either pranayama, breathing exercise, asanga, which is stretching, right? Or it can be called um, uh, jhana. Jhana is the basically Zen meditation, right? Okay, all right. So let's do more exercise. Now, I mentioned last week that part of what we want to do is to um, learn to live with the universe, live with the solar cycle, the morning and the night, and understanding that energy flow inside your body is affected by the sun, right? So something called sundowning. When the sun comes down, many of us who are at that age group tend to lose a lot of robustness, tend to lose a lot of vitality, is because the yang energy is dissipated, and it's not. It's the time that we should just slow down and restore ourselves, right? So don't go on a debate at night, like what our last president did, right? Had they scheduled in the morning, he would have done much better. We would have a different president. All right, so let's do more yang exercise, putting more yang energy in us. So we're going to focusing on doing some stretching, mainly in the backside, in the side that is facing the sun. Those are the meridians that are responsible for yang energy. But before we do that, let's do 3 deep breaths, okay? And 3 deep breaths, but then also stretching the outside the arm, which is the energy line called the triple warmer. All right, sit up straight, lift up a shoulder, lean back, relax, and then take 10 fingers, lock it together, put that in front of a belly button. We're going to take 1 deep breath, following the center of your palm. Get ready, go. Breathe in. Now we're going to breathe out, but this time we're going to look up, follow the center of a palm, and then we're going to lock the elbow, looking straight ahead, unlock the fingers, and then we're going to be like climbing the mountain, stretching the upper part of the arm as hard as we can. Get ready. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lock the elbow, looking straight ahead. Climb the mountain. One last time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Looking straight ahead again. Climb the mountain. All right. Now back, 10 fingers locking, palm up, palms facing down. Push until you lock your elbow. Looking straight ahead, bring your palm up, facing the camera. Bring it on top of your head. Lean back slightly, okay? And push, stretch your spine, and then hold it and lean back. Come back to the middle. Push as hard as you can, and then the entire upper torso lean to the left, stretching our spine. Come back to the middle. Stretch, lean to the right. Come back to the middle, push, lean to the left, come back to the middle, push, lean to the right, come back to the middle, focus on the center of your palm, bring it down, relax, open your shoulder, lean back, relax, take your right hand, put that on your left shoulder, lean back, pushing on your right shoulder, take your left hand, grab your right elbow, sit up straight, stretch the spine towards the left, come back, do the other side, looking straight ahead, putting pressure on your left shoulder, grab your left elbow and stretch to the right, back to the sitting position. Once again, open the shoulder, lean back, relax. Now take your left hand, palm facing up. Take your right hand, put that between the finger and the palm. Bring your hands down. Push your elbow, lock your elbow, looking straight ahead. Bring up your left hand, palm facing forward. Sit up straight. Do not turn your upper torso, but take your left arm, bring it to the right, stretching the outside. Come back, relax. Now take your right hand, sit up straight, bring it down, lock your elbow, looking straight ahead, bring it back up, all the way up. Now, do not turn your upper torso. Take your right hand, take it to the right. Come back, and then relax back to the breath. One breath at a time. Now open your shoulder again, sit up straight. Take your right hand, palm facing up. Take your left hand, palm facing down. Open that shoulder. Bend your wrist 90 degree. Now focus on your right arm, palm. Push as if you're pushing the sky up. Lock your elbow, wrist at 90 degree. Now take your left hand, push down as if you're pushing down to earth. Lock your elbow, wrist at 90 degree. Now take your right arm, lean back, turn your head to the left until you get to the shoulder. Then turn your eyeballs to the back as if you're looking at your back. Everything comes back. Relax. Now turn to the other way. Open. Push. Lock your elbow. Wrist at 90 degree. Push. Lock your elbow. Wrist at 90 degree. Lean back. The left arm. Turn your head to the right shoulder. Turn your eyes towards the back. Everything comes back. And then everything relax. Okay? All right. So now we're going to stretch the spine. Once again, it's very important. As we age, our spine collapse. We're getting shorter by the day, right? So we don't want that. When your spine collapse, you're losing volume, right? You're not generating as much marrow as before. That's why you lose vitality. That's why you lose your immunity. So we want to stretch it. All right. All right. Now take your shoulder, lift up your shoulder, open your shoulder, lean back and relax. Now take your hand, put that together, lock the fingers. Put that in your lower back, palm facing up. Now turn it so the palm facing down. And then push down gently until you lock your elbow. Now focus your mind on the center of your palm and at the top of the head at the same time. Now push your arms down, lift up your head, one up, one down, stretch as hard as you can, and then relax. Now lean back the forehead, and then focus on the center of your palm and lift it up as hard as you can. And then relax back to the breath. Open your shoulder again. Take the right arm, put that on your back, lean back, and then lift up your right shoulder. Stretch, and then relax. Take the other hand. Again, looking straight ahead. Lift up your right shoulder, and then relax back to the breath. Now take your right hand, back of the hand at the lower part of your spine. 2 fingers pointing to the left shoulder. Now stretch your right shoulder down, fingers up, and then relax. The other hand, sit up straight. Okay, now stretch your left shoulder down, fingers up. Sit up straight, 2 hands. Looking straight ahead. Right shoulder up, left shoulder down, and then relax. The other hand. Okay, looking straight ahead, left shoulder up, right shoulder down, and then back to the breath. I know I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Now open the shoulder again, sit up straight. 2 hands. Okay, palm touching, fingers pointing down. Now turn your fingers up, bring it up, sit up straight. Palm touching. Okay, now push your palm forward and lean back your shoulder. Reverse Buddha. Focus on your breath. One breath at a time. And then relax. Back to the breath. Okay, so that's just some stretching. Okay, some might call that asana, but it doesn't matter what you call it. We practice on the body, we practice on the mind, we practice on the breath, right? Those are the 3 of the 8 limbs of yoga. All right, so now we continue with our joint exercise, focusing now on the lower part of our body, the 3 other joints. First, we start with the knee. I mean, not knee. Knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now to the heel. Okay, right heel. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now to the toes. Okay, we're going to stand. and looking straight ahead. Okay, we're going to lift up a heel, stand on the toes, and then we're going to come back very gently, impact the heel. Okay, make sure you're on the carpet. Second time, down. One last time, down. Okay, now we're going to stand on one foot. Remember what I said about dementia? It starts with loss of balance. So this exercise prevents that. So put your hands on your hip, lean to the left foot, stand on your left foot, and then lift up your right foot. Now focus on the heel and go 1, 2, looking straight ahead, 3. Now go the other way, lean back on the right foot, balance on your right foot, and then lift up your left foot, focus on the heel, 1, 2, and 3. And then finally to the hip, right? Now we're going to stand on our left foot, our right foot, hands forward, lean back on the left foot, forming a straight line between the heel, the knee, the hip, and the shoulder. And we're going to turn until we can't turn anymore. Then we're going to move back, relax. Second time, notice that the toes on my right foot is up. You're balancing on your heel, and then relax. One last time. And then relax, okay? Now go the other way, right? Flexibility of the hip is very important. Get ready, bring back, turn, relax. Second time, turn, forward, relax. One last time, turn, forward, and then relax, okay? All right, so now we're ready for breathing exercise, the pranayama. So first we're going to stand properly, open our shoulder, lean back. Now we're going to focus, anchor our mind on the center of your palm. Follow your palm, bring it up, 1. Bring it back, 2. Bring it down, 3. Lower your knee, and then stand back up, 4. As we bring up a palm, we breathe in, all the way in. And then as we go down, we breathe out, and then relax. Breathe in, focus on your palm. Breathe out, relax. One more time, breathe in, breathe out, and then relax. Now bring your hands up, breathe in, cross your hand high enough you can see it, and then open so you can see it with the corner of your eye, and then don't stop until you get to the end, and then breathe in, breathe out. Back, breathe in, breathe out, all the way out, breathe in, breathe out. So this exercise is very simple. You open your chest cage and then you breathe out, which means that you have to lift up your diaphragm, right? Breathe in, breathe out. One more time. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Now we're going to do 1 minute of standing meditation, right? So we can meditate while we exercise, we can meditate while we sit, and we can meditate while we stand. And when you stand, it's very simple. Just focus on your breath. You whisper to yourself, I know I'm breathing in. I can feel that I'm breathing in. I know I'm breathing out. Once again, there's a beginning and an end. The beginning is when you commit, and the end is when you say to yourself, let me do it one more time, one breath at a time. It's not simple. It is like you said, it's easier said than done. That's why we're here. We practice. But not only do we practice together. So you're not alone. It's difficult for you. It's difficult for me too. Okay. All right. So now we continue. The second one is called balloon breathing. It's very obvious what we're doing here is that we breathe out when we open the chest cage. Okay. Now we stand with the right foot forward. We lean back so the toes are pointing up. We're looking at the ceiling. We bring up a hand high enough we can see with the corner of eye. We roll forward. And then we roll back. As we roll forward, we breathe in. As we roll back, we breathe out. We don't stop until we get to the end. Breathe in, breathe out. In, out. In, out. Okay, now in, out. You can actually do it at your own speed. You don't actually have to follow me, okay? I just do it at this speed to keep you folks, keep you engaged. Right? If I do it too slow, it's too hard. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Now focus on the center of your palm. Bring your hands down. Now go from the center of your palm to the center of the bottom of your feet. One step, two step. All right. Now back to standing meditation, one breath at a time. Okay. Now to the left. Get ready. Forward. Breathe in. And then breathe out as you lean back all the way out. And then as you go forward, just relax. Let the air comes in by itself. And then breathe out. If you try to do both with force, you're going to hyperventilate. Okay. So just breathe out. And then let the body breathe in by itself. And then breathe out. In. Out. One last time. In. Out. Okay. Back to the breath. Okay. Now the next one for butterfly. Okay. Now get ready. Lift up your arm. Focus on the center of your palm. Bring it down. Lower your knee. Bring it back up. Raise your heel until the back of the hand is touching. As you come down, breathe in gently. As you go up, you breathe out all the way until you get to the end. And then you breathe in. And then you breathe out. Relax. In. Out. In. Out. One last time. In. Out. Now focus on the center of your palm. Bring it back down. Stand properly. Focus on your breath, one breath at a time. Okay. Now the next one's called push hand. So back to the right, but this time we don't need to lean back. We just sit up, stand straight up. But then we're looking at the front. We see this water wheel in front of us. We bring our hands together up the water wheel, in front, on top. As we bring it down, we lower our body, and then we're looking straight ahead, push through the center of the water wheel. Breathe in, open your shoulder, bring your hands all the way down to the hip, and then breathe out, pushing forward. In, open the shoulder, out. Notice that you're using your wrists, your heel, your elbow, your knee, your shoulder, and your hip, just like Tai Chi. Out. Breathe in. Out. But then my master has a funny name for this. He said, this is the no thinking Tai Chi. You don't use your thinking brain, your thinking mind. You're just here to feel your body. What I call sensation. Just feel it without judging. One last time. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, come back. 1 minute of standing meditation. Okay, now to the left. Get ready. Breathe in. Open your shoulder all the way down and then breathe out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One last time. Breathe in. Open your shoulder. Breathe out. Back to the standing. One breath at a time. This is the last 1 minute standing meditation. Okay, now we're going to do one more exercise. Get ready. Focus on the center of your palm. Breathe in. Now, as we breathe out or open the knee, we go straight down, breathe out until we get to the end. We push the back forward, and then we breathe in all the way out, all the way in until we bend back, and then we relax. Second time, breathe out, breathe in, and then relax. One more time, breathe out, breathe in, and then relax. Lower your hand. Focus on the center of your palm. We walk with mindfulness. One step, two step. Now we approach the seat. We're going to focus on the center of your palm. Feel the seat as you lower your body. Feel your body as you make contact. Come back to the body. Adjust our posture. And then we're going to continue our meditation. But now I want to practice what we call loving kindness meditation. Now I mentioned that the exercise that we did looks a lot like Tai Chi, but my master says that it's a no thinking Tai Chi. So why is it so important that it's no thinking? Meaning that if you think about it from a modern science standpoint, the minutes that we touch something, the body touches the external, the physiology interacts with the physics, it sends a neurological signal through a body, it gets collected by the spine. That's processed at 10 billion times a second. As we collect all the signal delivered to the brain judge. That's processed at 10 times a second. So without thinking, your body actually can react a billion times faster. That's why the samurais, they fight without thinking. That's why the professional athletes, they do what they do without thinking, because the body can actually react so much faster. Some of you mentioned to me that your reaction speed improves as you practice here. That is true, right? When you see something dropping, you grab it without thinking, because your body can react a billion times faster than your mind. So using the brain, judging, is because that is the ego. That is what prevents us from becoming enlightened. Now, that ego comes from knowledge, not just knowledge that we learn from a book, not knowledge that we learn from college, but just knowledge. There's something called the terrible two. You know that. When kids become aware of their surrounding and they start thinking, they start to develop their ego. But before that, they don't judge, right? Our pets don't judge, not really. Their love is unconditional. And so what we want to do is slow down the thinking, slow down the judging, and just feel, focus on a sensation. So one way to do that, to let go of the ego, is to practice mindfulness and compassion and loving kindness. Right? That's why a lot of us like volunteering. Wherever you volunteer, you know, a lot of us like to volunteer at the shelter for animals, because while we're there, we can express our love unconditionally. It actually gives a lot of comfort when we do that, right? Even simple acts like helping people along the street, we like it. We like it because we let go of our ego, and we can actually feel, as the venerable Prajna Kara says, we let the inner child come out. So let's try to do that. Let's try to practice loving kindness and compassion. The building blocks for that is gratitude and acceptance. So back in the days when I volunteered at the prison, I tried to ask people to focus on the body and be grateful to the body and be grateful to our life. Some of them says, "Well, I don't actually have anything to be grateful for. My life has been so difficult." Then I asked them to perhaps be grateful to the parents. And someone says, "You know, not so easy for me." One guy actually says, the only time that I remember about my father was when he pointed a gun at me when I was 5 years old. Very difficult to find common ground to be grateful for. But it turns out that our practice, as we breathe in, we rise from the spine, we feel some energy in that. And, and then as we breathe out, we lean back, we feel lightness because we're letting go of the baggage on the body, putting the weight on the spine, not using the muscle. That turned out to be a very good way to practice gratitude. Turned out to be a way that we all have in common, which is that as we breathe in, the oxygens go from our lung to our internal organs, and the life energy rise from our spine. Turns out that we all breathe oxygen the same way. Whether you're rich, you're poor, you're powerful, you're not so powerful. Yeah, you grew up with a lot of comfort, you grew up with a lot of trauma. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. The skin, the color of your skin doesn't really matter. The shape of your body, whether you like or not like. We all breathe in oxygen the same way. And oxygen turns into this energy rise in our spine. Turns out it's very simple. Just think about where the oxygen comes from. The oxygen comes from the trees. The forest manufacture oxygen. And we get it for free. We can breathe as much as we want. So I want you to think about the trees, the forest, the park, and think about all the beings, all the animals that live around the trees, protecting the trees so that we can have this oxygen. I want you to use that as a way of expressing your gratitude. I want you to feel the oxygen and be grateful for all the beings that are protecting our habitat, allowing us one more breath. Then as you come down, I want you to lean back, feel the lightness in you because you're putting the weight on your spine, removing the baggage, the physical baggage. I want you to use that to think about what would happen if you remove all the baggage in your mind. What would happen if you let go of the shame of not doing enough, shame of not doing it at all? I want you to think about all the anger that you carry because of the people who did wrong to you, that you feel that the society is not just. I want you to think about all the anxiety that you've been carrying. As one student says, and I mentioned it earlier, it's easier said than done. It's very hard to let go of all that. But I want you to think about what would happen if you don't let go. Who actually gets hurt if you don't let go? The person who hurt you in the past is already gone. they move on to something else. And yet, you're still suffering. You're suffering from the memory. Ask yourself, is it time to let go? Maybe it's impossible after all to change other people, to hope that they can change their way. But perhaps it is time to change our way. Not to change the reality, but how we perceive, how we suffer from the reality. By confronting it, but then by accepting it, and finally by letting it go. But that acceptance actually builds on gratitude. So I want you to breathe in, stretch your spine, work on your gratitude. Whatever it is that you have, I think it's still worth being grateful. Then build on that sense of gratitude as you lean back, let go of all the baggage in your mind by accepting the past, accepting who you are, and finally, maybe letting it go. Breathe in, stretch your spine, work on your gratitude. Breathe out, lean back, relax, work on your acceptance. And with gratitude and acceptance, perhaps we can work on forgiveness. This is something that I work on every day. I learn to forgive myself. I learn to accept all the things that I didn't do right, all the things that I did wrong, all the things that I didn't do enough. I learn to just forgive myself. I learn to wish myself health, happiness, and as the monk says, let myself have a peaceful day. And perhaps if I could afford to forgive myself and wishing myself peace, health, and happiness, I could perhaps forgive other people. Because as much as they hurt me, I might have hurt other people, either intentionally or unintentionally. And if I could forgive myself, perhaps I could forgive them too. Perhaps that is the baggage that I don't need to carry anymore. And perhaps I could wish them health, happiness, and peace. So here I am, practicing loving kindness, practicing compassion, practicing empathy. And here I am, wishing that all beings can be happy, can be healthy, and can be peaceful. Whether they're human beings or other beings, whether they're visible beings or invisible beings, I wish them all healthy, happy, and peaceful. May all beings be free from animosity and negative energy. Sape Satam Avayantu. May all beings be free from mental suffering. Sabi Sata Yopacha May all beings be free from physical suffering. May all beings be protected with positive energy and be full of joy. May we all be healthy, be happy, and may we all have a peaceful day. Namaste. OK， 我哋星期一見，多謝大家支持。
感恩張利師兄，
感恩大家，
大家龍馬精神，
大家新年快樂。OK， 多謝陳老師。
新年快樂
OK，
身體健康。
好，星期一見。OK， 拜拜。OK。